Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for joining me on this very wet and windy day on the way to the Hope Factory for a wander around little tour. I'm going to basically see how things are manufactured in Great Britain. So we are Wetrocknride. I'm one of the founders and owners at Wetrocknride. It's a family run business in the northeast. We pride ourselves in being British. I'm an ex-soldier, 22-year veteran, and I genuinely do like to support British companies, and Hope is one of them, and they've kindly invited us here today to have a look around. I'm not far away from there, so I'll keep this brief. Okay, catch you soon. Good afternoon. So we finally landed at Hope Technology, great British company here at Barnoldswick. Yeah, here with Paul from Wetrocknride. To truly biblical conditions outside. It's been absolutely hammering down. So join us for a little tour. Not bad. Hi there.
Hello.
So this is Paul here. I'm just here with Robin. Do you mind?
No.
Not cool. So do you want to repeat what you've just taught me?
Yeah. So this is our main workshop area, mostly for the assembly of the Academy bikes, which is our higher scheme for children's bikes, from push-alongs, from walking bikes right up to 26-inch these bikes. Obviously all kitted out
Looking to Hope, aren't they?
with our kit, brakes, hubs,
Wow.
tracks, just to get kids interested in the bits.
No, definitely.
Also the brakes.
That's a pretty decent upgrade if you're a youngster, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's what happens here. There's a bit of assembly of stuff.
You probably see it every day, so you're like, wow, but that is a lot of discs. There we go.
Of factory wise,
Wow.
that's
look at
one of the bays.
Look at that.
With milling and turning basically, and we have another bay to the right which has all the slide heads, laser cutting machines, anodising at the back, and then there's another factory at the back which has got all the composites on. So,
Wow. And this is a display. I've just seen these on the TV.
yeah, that was one of the original ones. Yeah, and they've obviously come a little bit, come on a long way since then, but now almost they're not defunct, but like the rules change and we're trying to make a few changes.
Constantly updated.
Yeah.
And this is like a bit of a
Bit of a
history, isn't it?
history lesson, yeah.
I was going to say, I've seen some of that. I've worked on all of these over the
A
years.
few
now.
of them aren't, these are the original ones. When there was never to braze an old mechanical brake on.
I was going to say, so am I right in thinking Hope has the credit for inventing the disc brake?
pretty much so.
So we're actually in the factory that invented disc brakes for mountain bikes.
Yeah,
That people don't really realise that bit of history.
Yeah,
but it's really important.
back in the 80s, when there was no disc brakes on a bike, it was like, how are we going to do this? So they fabricated a mount on a suspension, mainly on a suspension bike for a start, because Ian and Simon were big trails riders, and motorcycle trails had just gone to disc brakes in the 80s. So it was like, how are we going to replicate this onto a push bike? And so they started by getting an adapter on a hub, putting like a clamp around the fork leg to get a disc brake on it, and it all started from there, really. So,
Absolutely.
That was late 80s basically,
And
and it had come a long way,
Onto making complete bikes as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
apart from the suspension, I think, and trans,
Yeah, tram part of that, it's all
the
that.
majority of that is Hope.
And everything's coming out. And these here are quite nice. That's the original. That's the first 916 we ever did.
Okay.
And then there's one of the original first bike 160s up in composites. The original bikes have been quite nice in keeping those.
That's good, really, to keep a bit of
And
a.
that's just straight out the mould. There's no lacquer or nothing. That's just taken off the flash line. That was just raw out of the mould to get it ridden basically.
That's excellent. It's really cool.
The lights on for you.
No.
No, we're going to have a look down on the shop floor, and like I say, it's like a ghost town because it's a Friday, and shift patterns now. Pretty much everyone goes home at 11:30 on a Friday.
Which is ideal, looking after people, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
looking after British workers, so their families are happy. you know?
And but the machines are still running. That's the beauty of some of the machines. You can load them up, walk away, and without a disaster, there's You know, the big blue Mams down the left-hand side, you can load them up and they'll run for 24 hours.
Wow. Wow. Excellent. So, he's Adam Brayton's Gambler. Just a few hot parts on it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a special on that. We did the whole shebang when he went to the Worlds. It was, you know, it's great how federations get behind, well not federations, countries get behind. They get a lot of help from the federation, believe me.
Yeah, that's a nice shot of that. It's lovely that.
Shop floor, this is the store end of the material. We're buying it in billet, bar, forgings, extrusion, you name it, in every form of aluminium. A lot of the material is stored around the machines as well. You know, we don't have a lot of space here, so you know the material is coming in regularly, all day, every day. To be fair, we just called it off from a holding area.
So fantastic.
And then you've got sections, so we've got all the 5-axis machines here and more than milling. So this really concentrates on making the brake side of things. And then when you get too far in, it's turning, which is more of a round part, which is hubs and bottom brackets and stuff. But, these Mams, what we're working here, we're making the new GR4 caliper. So that's come out of an extruded bar, that's just chopped into sections. And in one foul swoop, that'll make it go into that in one fell. And if you look into the back of the machines, so that's 3 calipers there, started its life as that, 3 in one go. You're still looking at around about an hour and a half to do 3 calipers first siding, so 30 minutes each. And then after that operation, they'll go into milling, go onto a custom fixture that way,
Gotcha.
Mill off the top. And then there's still one more process to do. They'll go onto a broaching machine and force the pad, because we make our calipers out of one piece, not like most people bolt them together and you can't get into the corners. So there's a broaching machine that forces makes the shape of where the pad sits, to be fair. So there's a couple of processes to do. But these machines, you can load them up, and when you see in the back, it's like a hamster. You can hold so much in the background, so all they'll be loaded up, and you'll end up, and it'll run on intermittent as well, so it could be making 3 calipers, and it'll go to 3 mass cylinders, and it'll go to 3 TR4 calipers, so it's a very, very, smart
efficient
machine.
Yeah. And I take it, I was going to say everything starts off as this colour.
Yeah, everything starts off as raw aluminium. I was going to show you how they start the life out. Again, another thing, we make all these, we're buying in devices, but we make all our tooling ourselves, because that's what originally we were known for, tool making.
Wow.
Again, same calipers, we'll get something a bit more interesting. Every lever blade starts its life out.
Wow.
One operation, one's first siding, and again into milling, custom fixture, drill off the top. Again, you'll see these are all sat in their little fixtures, ready to be unloaded to move on. And then even when the machine has machined it, it will still store it in the back of the machine and take in a new pallet, which is ready to go again.
So all of the billets are loaded and unloaded.
They're all
by
loaded,
hand.
and you can load up the machine, walk away, and barring a disaster, it's still running hours and hours down the line. They are very efficient. And then onto and that's the cylinder side of things, the same old story. They come as they start their life as a forging, so the profile is already there, and within one operation again, that's gone. So the detail of the bore, the cross holes, the thread, everything is done in that first op. And again, second side machine, dress off the top, and that will be done.
Wow.
So you can actually put the light button on. We'll go to nowhere. I can't see where that's gone. Anyway, they're running. maybe. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Look at that. So
that's doing 3 master cylinders in one. Again, about an hour and I think you're around an hour and 15 minutes to do those 3 master cylinders first sided.
wow.
Quick tool change. That's how quick, a bit like F1 speed.
Wow.
And then away it goes again.
That's unreal.
And then what that is achieving is obviously these finished parts in there.
So that's production in happening.
That's production in-house in the UK
In
as
Britain.
we speak. Yeah.
Best of British. Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. People probably don't realise they are actually manufactured in Barnoldswick.
Some people we've dealt with for years, and they walk into the factory and go, "Oh, you actually make it here?" You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
So, yeah. That's all I know how to do is turn the light on and off.
No, that's
Yeah.
fair enough. It's a specialist job, isn't it? I'm sure, setting it up.
So those are still the same. They're running the same thing. So we'll go into. This is milling. So this is my favourite section, and I am not an engineer at all.
Yeah.
This is where a lot of that stuff gets finished off. So. Again, so we've seen where they've caught up with second siding, but these are what they're on about, their custom fixtures. So, you know, we've made all them in the tool room.
So all of these have been manufactured by you?
Yeah, so obviously we've now got to hold that part over there, from over there, to hold it to be able to second side it and finish it off. So, you know, so that's the beauty. We do all of that in-house as well.
Fantastic.
This machine's just getting tooled up to. We're on a very fine line of keeping up with the Tech 4 and Evo lids. We have to do the old etch, we do the bleed lids. So we're just trying to get a second machine running on the lids so we can actually have a bit to play with.
Gotcha.
I mean, that there is got to be the start of obviously the pod shifter adapters to go onto the brakes to take the new T-type transmission.
And the I'd call it the waste or the swarf.
That's all recycled here.
I was just about to say,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
really good
Yeah.
to make sure that it's all recycled. So you might see that again in the future as another billet, or will that go somewhere
where
else?
that we don't possibly see it again, but that goes. We've been with the same firm. We use a great grade of aluminium, obviously, and yeah, but our scrap billet or our swarf bill at the end of the month is quite high. A lot of the stuff, calipers and that, because they're all hollowed out, you know, you're on about 80% waste of the material. So you can imagine that is trying to produce 2 of those. You
Wow.
see it on the machine there. So there is a lot of waste involved.
There it is.
Something so simple like a shifter mount is still made here.
Fantastic.
So that there is starting to say we're in a bad time because everyone's gone home and everyone's been collected. So obviously we've got a cam that sits in between the blade and the master cylinder, and every one of those cams starts its life out as that.
Wow.
And we'll show you some finished ones afterwards. But the blades again, so we see those being first sided,
Yep.
and then they're on the machine, custom fit, blade,
Wow.
2 off, ready to go.
And that's it. Wow.
All that'll need then is a good clean. It's pretty much deburred off the machine. That'll just be a good wash and ready for anodising.
I was going to say they feel exactly the same as my brakes, and
Yeah.
I didn't realise you actually manufacture
Yeah,
every
yeah.
single component. Wow.
Again, going back to the calipers again, we've obviously seen them being first sided. These have all been second sided now, ready to go, just ready for that broaching process to put the pad profile in. And we're trying to churn out some decent numbers because the brake's still 3 months old, so it's dropper lever assemblies. You know, we have the body, the lever, all these little bits all start the life out as full solid floor. And multiple different parts running. We're running stems, we're running front plates. You know, it runs on intermittent, so you're not just got the machine set up to run, you know, 10 stems.
Yeah.
It's running stems and plates at the same time. What I've done about that new machine, I'll take your copy. On that new machine, not the new machine, the machine we're on about, tooling up to get the lids. So every lid's like that, and we're trying to produce that, but obviously they're going to be next up for the old Tech 4, the Evo, but then still making bleed lids, Tech 3 lids, so it's very hard for one machine to keep up with the, you know, the years of product we've done, so we are trying to...
And also, people that have existing Hope products, I know because I'm one of them, I'm still on older brakes, you can still buy the parts for those, so if you wanted to make an upgrade, you guys still produce them.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You support your old products for quite a long time.
The only way we struggle on older stuff is because a lot of these machines are new.
Yeah.
And if it's something really, really old and we've like scrapped the old machine and everything was on that old machine, we're not going to tool up and put it onto the new machine.
That's understandable.
There is a point when you say enough's enough, that product is...
But you do still support it for a very, very long period of time.
We always say 10 years and some of the things are 20 all from day one, but you know, that's the only downside. Again, the custom fixtures, flipper, we're always doing like, there'll be 6 one way, 6 the other. So
these machines are really impressive.
Yeah, it's just a shame you're not seeing, I feel really bad and all, I've got the wrong brand of T-shirt on.
Don't worry about it.
Our maintenance guys work on site all the time, so...
Keep the machines running.
They are...
And you have people programming them, loading them,
yeah, so that's the different side of things, the programmers, but like Shay and that, they are, if there's a problem with a machine, you know, we have on-site maintenance, which is really cool. That's the main works office and all the measuring machines, you know, like inspection gets done, so they'll come out. Obviously we don't inspect every part, but the guys are constantly walking around, picking up a part, putting it on the machine, making sure.
So quality control.
Yeah, and because the stuff is almost being made and only hanging around here for about a week at most,
yeah,
you know, we can always backtrack. So
you have a very high quality control check.
Yeah, without having 30 guys here checking every part, you know, it's not aerospace, you know, we're just randomly picking stuff up as we go. So that's milling, and this area here is turnings, that's manufacturing a lot of hubs, well, all the hubs, the hub parts.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
Axles.
So you manufacture the axle, the hub and every part, right?
So, axles are already running on all these. Yeah, axles are constantly running, and you can imagine the amount of different combinations that we do. Again, such a shame that a lot's running.
No, that's cool. And that's the that's the new one.
That's that's one of the DH hubs, the bigger flange hub.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's one of the DH hubs. So we do that in a 150 and a 148 shell.
And even for downhill, that's surprisingly light.
Yeah,
really light.
Yeah, and internal. Our ethos has always been, you know, it's nice to be on the stronger side of stuff than the weaker side, you know. And
yeah, it's robust.
Yeah, we almost have one hub that does pretty much, we do everything. We're probably not the lightest in some areas and we're not the heaviest in some, but like we try and build the most reliable thing. The only downside to things at the minute is that the old e-bikes kill stuff, you know, and we know that.
I was just about to say, but where do you get it manufactured and anywhere else? Is there anywhere else in the UK that does this? I don't think there is.
I think there's a lot of people in the UK that
maybe smaller, but not to this
but
scale.
There's a lot of people in the UK manufacturing, but I'm not going to say they pick the easiest stuff, but like stems, chain rings, seeker, you know, it's not the most critical of parts. Or when you look at a hub and a brake, for instance, there's a lot going. It's a different monster, you know. Obviously, for every hub, we have to have a barrel.
Yeah.
So like even on a hub, you've got a hub body, an axle, a barrel, the poles, internal spacers, external spacers. There's a dozen parts to every rear hub that we make. And we do these in obviously HG, microspline, XD, aluminium and steel. it's a monster again.
And you make them interchangeable.
Yeah.
So you buy a hub,
Yeah.
and you change your bike, and you love your favourite hub wheels, but they're not compatible because you've changed from SRAM to Shimano.
Exactly.
You buy a free hub.
Yeah.
And we stock those as well, so I know that process, and we've had that over the years now. We've been able to support people with their products on different bikes through the same set of wheels.
And that goes back to, like, you know, from we're on Pro 5 now, Pro 4, Pro 2. We're still selling so many of them free hubs because people are updating their drivetrain and need a free hub to go with it.
Absolutely, fantastic.
Hub machines, obviously. Well, I think there's one over there. This is our. It's like when this is how we invest in stuff. So when we decided to do a clipless pedal, we've always done the flat pedal. It's like we had no capacity to put it onto a machine, so we had to buy a machine again to just run clipless pedals basically. So now it's tooled up, it's doing flat pedals and all of your little RCs and TCs. You know, you've got your TC pedal, you've got your RC pedal. So we invest in a machine because we know if we don't, it's going to be fighting to get it onto another machine. So.
You've got one being made. Is that one being made here?
Yeah, they're on there now, and again, that's running as we speak. That'll be running all sorts of. Normally, won't be just running the 1F22 or one type. It's on interdict again, so we're getting a little bit of everything coming off the machine. There's a little window wiper on there, isn't it?
So precise.
Still multiple things running, turning blanks for XC stems. I think this one here. We won't show too much because no one wants to do it, but like, that's running our new Christmas trinket, that one. So watch that space next week.
Fair enough.
Testing is all done. We test a lot of our products in there and put it on like destruction and bar testing and fatigue test. You know, we have the dyno set up in there. There's all sorts of stuff going on in here. You know, drop testing on rims and bars, and just lovely to have it all done on site.
It is quite complex, but you've got it so it's each has its own system.
Hub machines here, like you'll normally see a fillet sat in those little cup holders, and that's just like fed into the machine, so it's not manually loaded. That's just finishing the hub off, spinning it around. So you've got forgings waiting to go in, the full forging, and then you've got hubs that are sat ready to go. So that is going in. Let me get you a forging. So that goes in the machine like that. Obviously these are custom made to us. That goes into the machine like that. Well, probably, it will be. And then that comes out finished. So again,
So that's
all that needs
from that
to that. Wow. One foul go. That's putting threads in, hole drillings, threading for the rear ratchet. That comes out. So all that will need doing then. We'll check the bearing tolerances and then we'll send it into finishing, washed, polished, and it's ready for anodizing.
Fantastic.
So, but again, combinations are vast with 6-bolt, centre lock, boost, non-boost, different hole drillings. Into bay 2 that you didn't see. So sliding heads as we call them. When I first started nearly 30 years ago, we didn't have any of these machines, and we used to do very low numbers, but we'd buy in the bleed nipple or the connector bolt or whatever it be. And then it was like, let's buy a machine, and then we bought another one, and it was like multiple machines here, just running on bar fed stuff. So, running out of brass. Obviously, we can all imagine what that's going to be. That's going to end up being an olive or an insert, but it's brass, there's steel, there's all sorts of different bits. And all of these machines here, like first one we come to, making our bleed nipples. So every caliper needs a bleed nipple, and there they are, off the machine, finished, bar fed, away we go.
Fantastic.
Into this area, and purely all of this is for polishing, washing, barreling, whatever it be, ready for the anodising process. All of this has been made in the last probably 8 hours.
Wow.
Got multiple bits of stuff that will then fit into a hub, for instance. You see they're being made, so that has been polished in these on these custom fixtures, and they'll go into these walnut shells for about 30 to 40 minutes, polished way to give it the best finish we can get it, so it has the best possible chance to have a really nice anodising finish to it. So everything we make comes through these processes. Again, as I say, that is hot off the...
I was just about to say, it's very lean in a good way.
Yeah.
It means it keeps it efficient, doesn't it?
And then into anodising, so everything is manually jigged, manually unjigged. Everything that's aluminium, where it's an internal part that you don't see, and it's still anodised, it's not raw finish. We do all the colours, and I would honestly say it's the hardest processes we do.